Hi there, my name's Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Monday. It's the week after NAMM, April 17th, 2023. And we're going to talk about all the NAMM things today, including we'll throw in some stuff about the hi-fi pickup, which is now shipping, and people are asking me still about it. So let's get started and we'll talk about these products as we go. We've got a lot to go through today. Before I get started, I will say hello to our friends that are here today. And also feel free in the chat to list anything that you saw at the NAMM show. I've been watching all the NAMM coverage over the weekend, obviously, as much as I possibly can. And it was interesting. There wasn't as many videos because a lot of the big YouTubers didn't go this year, but some of the videos that were made are really nice. You notice that? Like the guitar magazines that went, obviously have great cameras and sound. Sweetwater did a great coverage. So the videos that are up on YouTube were really high quality video, really high quality audio, which is really nice. It's not just a cell phone, although I guess cell phones look great as well now, don't they, these days? But the video quality was excellent. And the only weird thing is I haven't seen video of every booth yet. We'll get into that later on as we talk about the products. But I thought the reports that a lot of people did there were excellent, and it really made me feel like I was missing out less. You know, I really am sad I didn't go. But watching those high quality videos really helped mitigate that, which was nice. So if you put a super chat question or a question with the Q in the chat, I will address it, even if it's not related to NAMM. But let's get started and talk about some products to get started off. And then, like I said, if you saw anything from NAMM that you want to discuss, put a Q in the chat as well and put the product there. And we'll talk about it, because I'm not going to cover all the products today. I'll be here all day. I'm going to cover some that I've sort of noted, taken notice of, and that I want to talk about and that I thought were interesting. A couple of things that I spotted in videos that are not official products that I've got for you today as well, which is kind of cool. So overall, I think the show was good. I mean, there's definitely less vendors there than there have been in the past. We knew that. It looked to me like the people that were there were very positive and had a good experience. I guess some of the companies got to go at a reduced price, and who wouldn't normally go and didn't have to compete against the big players like Fender and PRS for attention, which was a good thing. I think it's positive. You know, a lot of people are saying NAMM is over, it's not going to survive this new online world that we have in front of you. I don't think that's right. I think the reason I always go is to see the people. And I think that's why companies will still go. Of course, the problem is the pricing of it. Is it worth going to see people when they can sell product through YouTube? Do they need to go in person? I think they do, but I don't have a booth. I don't pay for a booth, and people that fly there, that's got to be a factor as well. So I don't really know. I think the real thing will be in January to see if it goes back to January, which companies go, does it grow even more? And then I think there's got to be a slight change in this as well. We can't just go back to how it was. I think there needs to be a slight change in how NAMM is run, and that's got to come from NAMM themselves. So let's just say hi before we get into this. The doctor is here. Good to see you, buddy. And let me just make your chat. Well, I tried to make it smaller and it made it bigger, you know. If you watch my show, you know that the Apple mouse is my least favorite Apple product. Actually, I was thinking the other day, one reason it's good to have a laptop these days is because if your mouse goes wrong, you can use the laptop trackpad instead. There we go. All right, good to see you, Doc. How are you doing? Did you see anything at NAMM? Please let us know in the chat if you did. Let me get you lined up there. Okay, good. Bedouin. Hi, Aaron from NOLA. Good to have a good show. Break a leg. Thank you. Everyone always says good luck, and I say no, don't say good luck. Say break a leg, because good luck is bad luck. Bernard's here. Wildlife is here. Kevin is here. The intro music is in the key of F major. Actually, it's not. It's in E sharp. Rosanna is here. Thank you for moderating. Have you seen this new thing? I'm on my app here on the phone, and there's a little heart icon, and you click on that, you get some other icons, and if I tap on them, it puts them on the screen. Have you seen that? I think they stole that from Facebook. That was on Facebook before with the icons flying through the screen. Exactly the same interface too. And I don't see them on Ecamm Live where I'm broadcasting from, but I do see them on the app. So feel free to put some 100 surprise face party smiley or hearts on the feed just to annoy everybody. These things fly all over the screen. Akispiro, good to see you. T, good to see you. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about some new products. There are new products. It was mostly pedals. There was nothing like a new Kemper. There wasn't a new Helix. There wasn't a brand new breakthrough product or guitar. There was nothing like way exciting. But there was a lot of new products and smaller products. Obviously, I said at the start of the year, we're going to see more affordable things. That's why companies are doing pedals. Pedals are more affordable generally, depending on the pedal, and easier to ship as well. Of course, we had the pickup from LR Bags. So we did have a lot of new stuff. And also, don't forget, a lot of new stuff has been released in the previous weeks. Like the last 2 months, we've seen a lot of new stuff released. So it's not that there's not new stuff coming out. It's just that there haven't been I don't think it's been like a flagship. I mean, we had the Headrush Prime, but that's really a reissue, re-release of the Headrush with some new features. We haven't seen like a brand new product line for anyone, as far as I can tell. Have you tried the TAC Mini preamp? I have. It's good for an undersaddle, but it's not, it's not something that I'd probably end up using at my gigs by itself. Good to see you, Marco. Marco, have you seen lately this AI? We've got to do a live stream about AI. What people are doing is they're taking, for example, a song where Noel Gallagher sings the lead vocal. They're training an algorithm with Liam Gallagher's voice, and then they're putting Liam Gallagher as the singer on that song. So you're hearing, for example, a song that Noel would sing in Oasis sung by Liam Gallagher and vice versa. This is crazy. There's even this band that sounds like Oasis, a really good band. I really like their stuff. And they sound like Oasis, and the songs are strong. And they've taken Liam Gallagher's voice and put it over their lead singer's voice. It sounds like a new Oasis record. And I'm sitting there listening to it, thinking to myself, this is really good music. So is this a new thing with music? Can I record a song in the style of John Lennon and then put John Lennon's voice on it and call it a new John Lennon song? This is opening up a whole new can of worms for the music industry. But we'll talk about that another time. F-Note Pro Kit looks and sounds great. Please put a link because I don't know what that is. Lee, good to see you, buddy. Nice to see you here. Are you working today? Stadey's here. Good to see you. Patsy T, that's it. Guitar Interactive had some good interviews. 3-chord Dave, yeah, don't get me started on that. I sent him a super chat because I'll get into this. The Neural DSP thing, they've released a beta editor just for the show, and well, I'll get into that. But I was trying to get 3-chord Dave to show us that on the camera, and he didn't. He said he was going to put it up later on. I don't know. I sent him a super chat and asked him to check it out. So I'll talk about that when we go through the products because I've got a lot to say about that. Not 3-chord Dave, but the editor. Did you see the Fishman AFX pedals? Yes, I'm going to be reviewing them on the channel pretty soon. We can talk about those as well. Tell me what you think of those and what you'd like to see in a review. E sharp is an N harmonic for F. That's right. I was just kidding before. It would be cool to have a gig board version of the new Headrush Prime, smaller and portable. I agree, because that thing is way too big for me. Bags Hi-Fi, is it easy to self-install? Yes, definitely. What is that guitar hanging up? I haven't seen the green before. That's not green, it's just the lights are reflecting the blue light. I've got some new lights behind me. They're more low profile, and they're reflecting off the pickguard. That's the Stratocaster up there. Send me the link when you can. Yeah, send me a message on email. I'll send it to you. Question, have you seen the new Yamaha FG9 handcrafted by one luthier? Same as a master-built Fender. Hopefully they'll bring out an OM version. Yep, we're going to talk about that one as well, the new Yamahas. I've got that on my list. Lee is working. Nick says hi. And John says I'm lurking. All right, let's get into it because otherwise it'll be too long before I start. So I'll jump over to the screen. All right, so the NAMM show has taken place and finished. It was 3 days long, and you can look on YouTube later for some coverage. There's some really good coverage. I was really happy that Cole Clark got a great video, and that was my favorite product. I'll start with that. Someone did I only saw one coverage video from Cole Clark, and it was a great demo. They talked about the new hybrid guitars, and for me, that was the product of the show. But I haven't got that obviously on here because they're not at Sweetwater, but Check out that video if you can find it, because I thought that was excellent. So let's get into this. Let's start with this. For me, and this is all, today's all from my personal opinions. It's all just my personal thoughts and feelings. For me, this was the biggest thing. And this was cool because the other companies that make these pedals, these multi-effects, were either not there or they're at a very small capacity, where Neural had a big booth. It looked to me almost like they had the biggest booth. Some would say, well, they're spending a lot of money on that, but I think it's good. I think it's good that they're trying and they're showing that they're serious about their company. And they showed a new beta of the software, which has some really good features, and they showed the beta editor. So the reason I got so frustrated with the NAMM coverage is no one seemed to cover the Neural booth. There's all these videos up of all the booths in high quality, like I told you earlier, but not many people actually went to the Neural booth. It was absolutely bizarre because they had a fantastic booth with fantastic demos from fantastic players. They had this new beta version of the firmware and an editor, which is going to be great. I can't wait for the editor to come out. And there's like one little video up on YouTube about it. Now, maybe more will come later. Like I said earlier, I was so desperate to see this editor and find out how it works in more detail that I did see the YouTube channel you mentioned walking around, and I sent him a super chat and said, please, can you just show us the editor? But he didn't. So I'm just sitting there thinking, come on, can someone please just make a video about this editor? It's got to the point where I'm wondering if they don't want to show it to us because it's a beta thing, but it was at the show. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. It's weird. But for me, they had the best booth. They had some of the best announcements, even though they were only software related and not hardware related. But they didn't show. I saw some pictures on their social media, but I didn't actually see a detailed video. Maybe I'm right. Maybe they don't want to show it because it's a beta and it might change. That would make sense. But it was a little bit frustrating for me as a fan, as someone who owns this product and wants this thing so badly, and so badly wanted to be there to see how it works and ask all the questions about it. Like, does it work over Wi-Fi? Do you have to use USB? Is it compatible with the new Apple Silicon computers? Is it using Intel? You know, all these little geeky questions I want the answers to. I guess I'll have to wait. It shouldn't be too long until it's finished. But that was bit of an anticlimax for me, but great to see Neural are doing such a good job and really pushing ahead. I was really happy then to see T-Rex are back. So if you remember, T-Rex made a lot of pedals, including the Soulmate acoustic pedal, and they kind of disappeared for a while. In fact, the word on the street was that they split up. The band had broken up, basically. But then I heard that they were back together again, and they were there with a brand new product, which is this Binson Echo Rex. So, yes, it's very expensive, and yes, it probably isn't for most of the people watching this show today, including myself. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. But it's a cool invention. It took them years to make it, and they're making these kind of analog tape delays, which is, it's cool. It's very niche, isn't it? It's incredibly niche, but it's impressive they've done it. And yeah, I mean, I'm just glad they're back. I'd love to see some more acoustic products from them in the future. So let me know what you think of these things as we go. I'm just really glad that, like I said, Neural are putting on a show, clearly making slow but steady steps with their product. And then T-Rex are back again. There was another company, Digitech are back again. They were there. It's nice. It almost feels like we're going back a little bit to 2010. 2010 for me is when it was like the golden era of new gear, when Line 6 were making the Variacs and the Kemper came out and all this new stuff was happening. And a lot of those companies disappeared, like TC Helicon and Digitech, and it feels like they're coming back, and that's really exciting. Nick says, I love NAMM, but I miss the days when products were available right away instead of long pre-order dates. Well, some are. The bags pickup is available now for pre-order and shipping next week in limited quantities. Some products are not out for several months. And the joke is always that they call it NAMM because it means not available, maybe May. That's when it was in January. So not available, maybe May. So basically 5 months after the show. But I get what you mean. But then again, it's not really, NAMM isn't really there to announce and release new products. It's there for, it was always there originally for the companies to show the dealers what they're working on, what's coming in the next few months, so the dealers can put their orders in and then the products ship. You know, before the YouTubers came along, you didn't even know what happened at NAMM. NAMM was a closed shop. Then the YouTubers started going there and filming everything, completely changed the way it was used. And that can cause frustration because we're seeing all this stuff and we can't buy it. You're absolutely right. But that's just the plus and minus of having coverage like that. So Zane agrees. Nice to see I'm not the only one. If they'd shown the editor, I was really hoping that Neural would have filmed, because they every day they did a presentation of the editor. I was really hoping they were going to film that and put it on their YouTube channel. But again, I understand why they wouldn't, because it's beta and they might change something. And I know companies can get annoyed when they change something and then the customers complain. And there's been a whole debacle with Neural and the release of the Quad Cortex anyway, with things they said would be there that are not, etc., etc., etc. So I kind of get it, but on the other hand, the fans would have been happy with that. Or maybe someone could have done an unofficial one on a fan's channel or something, but supported by Neural. But I just didn't see anything. NAMM is a trade show. Yeah, exactly. But trade shows have changed. They've changed from being about the vendors and the dealers and the shops, the stores, to being a place where YouTubers go and make content. So maybe they need to milk that even more going forward, the whole content thing. So next up, we do have the pedals from Fishman. These are affordable, they're small, they're well made. I'm taking my time. So I've tried to take my time lately on videos. Like, I want to go through each of these, see what I like, see what I don't. If I got any, criticisms or whatever, and try them out, and then make the video. I don't like to rush videos anymore. I like to really take my time with it. But these are great. I mean, again, we saw so many pedals at this show. This really was the pedal NAMM this time around. But it's great that they released pedals that are specific to acoustic guitarists, because there's never enough gear for acoustic players. It's always electric, and there is a crossover, but it's nice when pedals are specifically for acoustic players, I think. So there's 4 of those. There's the EQ, the reverb. This is really nice. I've been testing the reverb. That's really good. I like that one. I've been testing the looper. It's only a 1-button looper, which some people will like and some people won't, but it's good. I was using that last night for some reamping I was doing. Then there's the EQ. I haven't tried that one yet, so I need to test that one. But it's good. It's got the low cut and then 5 bands of EQ. And this blender is interesting because you can blend 2 signals together or use it for an AB box. If you remember when I had Larry Fishman was on for an interview during the lockdown, he mentioned these. I was hoping there would be some more. I hope they'll do some more, because some of my favorite Fishman effects are the compressor. The one knob compressor is my favorite compressor for acoustic, and I would love to see that in a mini pedal. That would be awesome. So watch out for that in a week or so. And then again, talking about pedals, here's another pedal set of pedals from Universal Audio. I already mentioned these in the news, but they're nice, you know. I love Universal Audio. I use their interface. I use their plugins. Yes, they're on the premium side, $349 for a delay and reverb single pedal, but I'm sure the algorithms are excellent. I was interested in adding this to my electric board, but I don't think you can do what I want. So basically the way it's set up is you either have delay on or off on the left foot switch, or reverb on or off on the right foot switch. You can also set it so the left foot switch turns on delay and reverb, or the right foot switch is tap tempo. I want a setting where reverb is always on, and then the delay switch turns on and off the delay, and the reverb tap tempo is tap tempo. I want the reverb on all the time, and then that left switch is just on or off for delay, and the right foot switch is tap tempo. If it did that, I would probably sell my reverb and delay off my electric board and put this on it, because I like UA so much. But if it doesn't work that way, then it's no good for the way that I would use it. But again, more pedals are nice to see more pedals. Let me take some water and I'll continue. This is the Grace Design Roxy. So Grace Design make acoustic guitar preamps that are very well regarded. They're around the $1,000 mark for the flagship. But some acoustic players just swear by them. They say they're just the best components. They're the best pedals. So what they've done is they've made a DI for singers, microphones and singers. So I don't really like the color very much, I'll be honest. I'd rather it was silver or black, but it's really interesting they've done this, because what this means is, as a singer now you have control over your sound, because in the past you would just plug your mic into the console, right, and you would go. Now you can plug your mic into this and have control over your mic from the stage before it hits the mixer. That can be useful, as guitarists know, but also it has an effects loop. Now what that means is, as a singer you can patch in effects pedals. So you could put a delay in here, a tap tempo delay, and control your own delay with this. So I know I do this right now with the Voice Live 3 Extreme because all the effects are built in. But if you don't want to go that route, if you want to make your own pedal board, and obviously again the theme today is pedals, you could buy this, put it on a board, add your favorite reverb, delay, or even the combined reverb and delay. You could add a distortion, you could add a TC harmonizer, you could add any effect you want to your voice and just patch it into the effects loop and basically add effects to your vocal chain. I think that could be really interesting. Now you're going to end up with a very expensive board if you do it this route, rather than buying like a multi-effects voice processor, but you will have the quality of these components, which I can't really vouch for. I haven't really tried one, but people tell me that you get what you pay for with these things, and they sound very good. So again, interesting, and must praise them because it's for singers. I mean, you can use this for any instrument, right? It's a mic input, any woodwind or brass or even an acoustic guitar. But the fact that a singer could use this and add effects is great, and I praise them for doing that, because there's not enough effects for singers either. It's always electric guitar players that get these things, right? I'd like to see the Binson and the Dorner price. Oh, Prince Booner compared. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I mean, let's face it, the Binson isn't. I mean, I guess if you have a studio, it's good. Someone like Dr. McFarlane could have that. For what I do, I can't imagine taking that on the road. But I don't know. It's good that companies do these things, right? They don't just make pedals that they know will sell because they're small and they're affordable. It's good they've made a Binson, but it's got to be hard. Am I wrong? Is it hard to sell something like that, or is there a market for that kind of stuff? I don't know. And again, I haven't tried it. Maybe I'd really like it if I played it. I was hoping to see a few shows on amps from NAMM. Yeah, I didn't see many amps demoed, I don't think. Shame the AFX Blender doesn't have a phase switch. Let me see that one. It has ground lift, in, out. Yeah, you're right. You're right, there's no phase. But I think the thing about a mini pedal is always the size limits the functionality. And then so many people now, including myself, want mini pedals, but they also want everything in them, and they can't physically fit stuff in the space. You know, a lot of people want mini pedals that are battery powered with all the features, and you just can't even fit a battery into a lot of these mini pedals. So I don't know if the phase thing would be a problem or not. I guess it depends if you've got phase on the pickup you're plugging into it. What I like about this, I haven't tried this one yet, but what I like about this one is that you can also use it as a clean boost, because I use clean boost on my acoustic guitar all the time. So I like this because at a regular gig, I could use it as a clean boost for a solo or for fingerstyle, but then I've still got that other functionality of the AB box if I want to use a pickup with two outputs, or if I want to use it at home for a YouTube video where I'm comparing two sounds back to back. So what this is a very flexible pedal, and at $89.95, if the clean boost is indeed clean and has good sound quality, it's a great price, because the clean boost on my electric board was over $100. And you might say I'm silly to buy a clean boost for over $100, but there we go. You know, my board is small, I wanted high quality pedals, and I do like the one that I have. But yeah, if this sounds as good as that and also has the other functionality as well, that makes it a versatile pedal. So I think they did a good job with that. I actually was saying the other day to a friend of mine, they should have called it something that reflects the fact it can be a clean boost. I would have called it So it's called the Pocket Blender. I would have called it the Pocket Bluester, as in boost and blend. The Bluester. I would have made it clear because I didn't realize when I first saw this, I thought I'm never going to use this. And then when I heard that it can also be a clean boost, oh, great. I need a clean boost on the board. So why not have one that can also mix inputs as well from different pickups? All right, and I don't think I covered this on the channel before. This is a new Martin. And yes, I was also watching Martin from NAMM like an absolute hawk as well. I was wondering if we'd see more about the John Mayer guitars. There was nothing about the John Mayer guitars, and John Mayer didn't make an appearance. I thought he might because he had a gig that evening and was in LA, but he didn't drop in as far as I know. So the latest I've heard on the John Mayer guitars is that there was indeed a spec change. I don't know what it was, and I believe that's now been signed off. So I think we're going to see an announcement in the next week or so, or a few weeks. I think they're still planning on releasing them in the summer. So again, this is all just hearsay, and it could all change again. So that's the thing to bear in mind. But I think what will happen is in next month you'll just see them make an announcement. There'll be pictures and videos, and we can talk about them then. But that was all a bit of a mystery. I didn't really like that because I spent a lot of time trying to dig out information that I couldn't find. But we did have this new ukulele. And the reason I'm excited about this is, I mean, this isn't something that I would personally play, but Martin have teamed up with the Life is Good brand. They've made a Life is Good t-shirt and a Life is Good ukulele. And the reason I'm excited is I'm thinking if Martin are now teaming up with brands, they might team up with me to make the Martin Soundhole Sniffer t-shirt. Branded. Imagine that. Can you imagine my t-shirt with Martin over the top? If they want to call me, I'll gladly do a deal with them. All I need is an OM45 John Mayer, and they can have the rights. No. But yeah, actually, I don't mind this. If I played ukulele, I might enjoy playing that. Sometimes it's nice to have something fun, and ukuleles are supposed to be fun, aren't they? But there was also these strings. I didn't know these were coming either. I guess these are brand new as well. Someone reached out and told me about them. So these are the Lux strings. I don't regularly use any of the Lux products, I don't think. And I mean, I go through strings so much at 20. Let's talk about strings for a minute, actually. I've got some thoughts on this. Staley said, life is good. You now have seen everything. I just tried to click on the other images and pause the show. Yeah. So currently I'm using Martin Lifespan strings, and a great way to buy them, this is what I do. I wait for the big sales throughout the year in America. And when you get 15 or maybe 20% off, I buy from stringsandbeyond.com, and they often have these sales throughout the year. And they sell Martin strings that are not wrapped. You get 20 sets in clear plastic sleeves, individually wrapped strings, like Martin would use on their guitars at the factory. So no packaging. So you're helping the environment, and they're cheaper. And if you wait and get them with a 20% off coupon or 15% off coupon, they actually work out pretty good value, especially these days when everything is, going up in price. So that's what I do. And the only problem with those strings is I kind of wear them out after a few weeks. I did switch to Elixir for that reason, and because they came on my Cole Clark for a while. And there's just something about the feel, especially when they're new, that I don't love. Elixir strings have more tension than Martin strings. If you look on strings websites, you can see the tension of the strings. So they do feel a bit stiffer. And I think they get better over time, and they last a long time. That's why I use them. I don't want to be changing strings every week. I used to change strings every day, so I don't be changing them every week, especially when they're expensive. Here's the thing. I actually tried some strings. I won't say too much, but I was involved in something lately. It was a public thing you could apply to test some new strings. And I did it thinking I'm never going to like them because I'm so set in my ways. I'm so hard to impress. So I just thought I'll just do it because they're free. And I tried these new strings, and I really liked them. at first I felt they were similar to what I'm used to from this brand, and then I really liked them, and I was like, these are great, and I was very, very happy with them. And unfortunately, when I had some work done on my Cole Clark, I had it restrung, and I had to take the strings off. So I reached out to the company that makes these strings, and I said, you know, I did that research for you, the public research beta you did, and I got to say, I really, really love these strings. I just really like them straight away, and I would love to keep using them. And I'm not asking you to, I'm not pitching a sales pitch to you to make you a promo video or anything, but I just really like them. I'd like to buy some more, or if you'll send me another set, because I had to take them off my guitar, I'd love to buy some more and make a video to tell people about these strings. They just clicked to me straight away. And they said, well, they are a beta thing and they might not be coming out. Or if they do come out, we'll let you know. It's like, it's so frustrating with gear because sometimes there's a product that you feel you have to talk about because everyone's talking about it. And sometimes you may not be into that product. And then very occasionally with this stuff, you find something that you really just love and you want to talk about. And then when that product isn't available, or you can't get your hands on it, or the company doesn't want to work with you, it's really annoying because here's something that I just want to use and want to say that I'm using all the time. So if that comes to light, I'll tell you what it is in the future. But needless to say, between the Elixirs on the gig guitar and the Martin strings, I'm pretty happy. I don't think I would want to. I don't know. Everyone's saying they want to try these strings. I mean, I guess I would try them. Maybe I'm scared I'd like them because they'll be $20 and they won't last very long. It says they have enhanced longevity. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you're interested in trying these new Lux strings from Martin, or if you're happy with the strings that you're using. I have to include the hi-fi, of course, because I've been covering it on the channel. Several people that watch the channel have ordered one using my affiliate link, and I really appreciate it. I get a few percentage back, so it all helps me to make videos, and thank you for doing that. All you got to do is click any of the videos links in below. I have the affiliate link, and you can just click that, then make your order. I get a small commission at no cost to you, and it's now available up here on the site with some more information. I've posted some other videos. Everyone and their dog are asking me if they should get this or the Anthem, and please just give me time. I just got it. I cannot give a definitive, even like the strings I mentioned, even if I love them, I still have to really try a few more times. What if I get another set and I break one, you know? That's why I guess I shouldn't have been mean to Neural DSP at the start of the video, because it's the same with them. I'm sure everyone was texting them and emailing them, please show us that editor. And they're thinking, what if we show the editor and then we have to change something and people get mad at us? So I guess I can sympathize with them now I think about it. But here's how I think about this pickup at the moment. This is a single source pickup. For me, this is an alternative to the Element. I'm not a fan of the Element at all. I do like it in the Anthem, but that's what this is. They've already said they're going to work on a version with a microphone. That's the one that will be comparable to an Anthem. If you're happy with your system and your guitar right now, then don't buy it. Just keep what you have. But if you're looking for a pickup right now, I know many of my friends and viewers are, then consider this, definitely. But remember, all guitars react differently to pickups. So the only issue I've had so far is that the OM that this is in has had some feedback. Now I could get rid of that with one notch of EQ, which to me is still impressive and more impressive than the K&K, but because the K&K was in that same guitar. But Bags have told me it will react differently in different guitars. So tomorrow I'm most likely going to take the Anthem out of my Martin HDC and move it into that guitar, and that will enable me to then, because I played the Martin on Friday to test it in the room, it didn't get any feedback. So then I can use the pickup on Friday's gig this week and do a direct comparison in the same guitar with everything being equal. Then if I do get feedback that bugs me, I can say to you, well, you do need to really take an additional EQ pedal with you, or have a mixer that will accommodate that. And if I don't get feedback, I can say, depending on the guitar, it's a good solution, because I'm told that even an Anthem in the OM could have the same feedback. And I just haven't got ways to test all this stuff scientifically, and I want to make sure my channel is based on facts and not just opinions and hearsay, right? So Part of me doesn't want to do that because I love the anthem in my HDC guitar. So, and part of me just doesn't want to take, honestly, just doesn't want to take the time to do all that. But I feel I've nominated myself to do these things with this stuff, and I have to do it because that's the only way that I can tell people on my full review if this is something I'd recommend or not. The only way I can do that is to try it in a guitar that currently works at my gigs to see if this is as stable and feedback resistant. If it isn't, it doesn't mean I won't recommend it, but I'll put that in the video that you may need an additional pedal with you, or again, a mixer with a parametric EQ or a DI. So that would just be really good information for me to have. And since it's so easy to install and remove, if I don't like it in that guitar, if I miss the anthem, I can always then take it out and put the anthem back in again. I might even put the Anthem SL back in because I like having the SL these days because I run the Anthem on full microphone. But that's the only way I can really tell. And of course, if they do make a version with a microphone, that'll be exciting. From what I heard at NAMM, the guitar manufacturers are very impressed. I believe some of them will be using this in their guitars, and I'm happy for LR Baggs. And I'm glad there was a product for acoustic guitar. I'm really happy that we've seen acoustic guitar products at the show this year, because sometimes we don't see many acoustic guitar things. Okay, let me come to the chat. Pooh says, I agree. The vocal processors don't get the hype. But I guess there must be less singers than guitarists, and that's why, right? Oh, right. Yeah. Dr. McFarlane says the Rev D25. That's the combo amp, right? That does look interesting. Yep. Don't think I've tried the Rev yet, but they are definitely forward thinking and have good stuff. Ah, Gilmore used and maybe still uses the Prince Booner Echo Delay 350 at Thoman. Okay. I'm not a delay connoisseur. I'm not very fussy about delays, I must admit. That would be Hip. John Mayer. Okay. I contacted Martin. They said there were spec changes. They didn't have a release date. Okay. We need to find out what these spec changes were. Who's going to find out? Pooh Ninja is open to all promotional offers. Stadium like Stringjoy. I tried them once. I thought they were pretty good. But I've always come back to the Anthem pickup. I've always come back to Martin Lifespan strings. And then for me, something like the Elixirs are just a necessity because they're just practical. They're a practical thing. I don't like them quite as much, but they're practical for what I do, right? Imagine the Soundhole Sniffer logo in pearl around the guitar's soundhole. That might be a bit much, but I think a T-shirt would be good. They could make my T-shirt with their logo and make it even better. What I liked is that they seem to have the longevity of the Elixir. They seem to feel slightly better than the Elixir and sound slightly better than the Elixir. So I don't know what the exact differences are because I didn't have the specs of these strings. But for me, they were just like the Elixirs, but a little bit better. And that made them to the point where I liked them. I liked the sound and feel almost as much as the Martin string. So for me, that's a really, if they do have the long life, which they seem to on the set that I tried, that will give me a set that are very practical for my shows. I need to find out what the actual differences are on paper. But again, these are beta release and I don't know much about them. String joys play energetically for me, and that's why I like them so much. They bounce or feel like they do. I would and will try the Lux strings. I've got nothing to lose. Yeah, everyone's interested in those Lux strings. And maybe I'll have to try a set. I play Ernie balls because I can get them easily, and I haven't had any issues with them breaking or standing dead too quickly. You know, a bit like how the pickup is right for a certain guitar, Pooh Ninja, it's the same with strings. Certain strings suit certain players, and there is no best. Ernie Ball, yeah, I do use those two brands as well for electric. I'm undecided with electric. I don't change electric strings very much. I tend to just use, I mean, actually, a lot of my electric still have the strings that came on the guitar. I don't know what that means about me, but yeah, I'm still have to research electric strings. I used to use D'Addario, and I've used Fender on Fender guitars because that's what they ship with, and I've used the Slinkies on. Electrics, I tend to see what the guitar came with and just get the same ones. I have used Elixir on electric, and they were good too. I was just thinking today, I can't remember the last time I changed strings on electric guitar. I think with some of my electric guitars, then they're fairly new, and I've not needed to. And then some of my electrics, I get set up once a year and just have them changed as part of the setup. And I tend to not really change them unless I've got a gig. But I just don't, obviously, I just don't play as much electric as I do acoustic. Only ball strings, so customer service is top notch from D'Addario. David, how you doing? Better late than never, that's right. Hi-fi with a true mic seems inevitable and really exciting. And yeah, it is. And I like the fact that they're saying that. And also, don't forget, even if I say to you next week, well, my hi-fi in the other guitar, let's say this is hypothetical. Even if I say next week the hi-fi was in 5 of my guitars and it fed back and I can't use it for what I do, who's to say that in a year or two, Bags won't further develop the hi-fi while they add the microphone? So for everyone that's saying to me, what's up with this hi-fi? Should I replace my Anthem? My answer to you is, if you're happy with the sound of the Anthem, and I still say the Anthem is my favorite third-party pickup. If you're happy with that, then do not take it out of your guitar. Stay with it. Wait for the hi-fi Anthem to release and then evaluate if it's worth the switch. The only reason I would switch to the hi-fi is if your guitar can't accommodate an Anthem because you can't have an undersaddle pickup in it. Or if it really drives you crazy that there's an undersaddle in your guitar like it does with me. I really fight with that in my mind all the time. So that may be a reason. If you don't plug in very often, that may be a reason to do it, to go that way. But yeah, the Anthem is certainly still one of my favorites systems for sure. As is the Cole Clark. They're both excellent. Patsy says, we miss you, David. How you doing? They're chatting there. And Staley says, I don't like Elixir strings. I like the playability. It's so easy to slide around. Don't forget, though, like the guitars and everything, there's different versions of Elixir strings. There's the Polyweb, there's the Nano Web. So I think if I had my choice, I wouldn't use Elixirs. It's just the fact they do seem to last so long for me. They're very practical, especially on the gigging guitars. If you're gigging 4 nights a week, every week, and the strings last you 3 months, that's so much more practical than changing the Martin strings every 2 weeks. So that's the biggest thing for me. It's more practical stuff. All right, let's keep going. Yamaha, new acoustic guitars. So this is the flagship Yamaha. I've spoken about Yamaha a lot on the channel. At the end of the day, they make fantastic value for money instruments. So you might say to me, well, why is this one $4,000? Well, here's the thing. This is their flagship handmade guitar, which will be made in limited quantities because it's handmade. And what you've got to think to yourself is, yes, it's $4,000, but it's their flagship. How much is the flagship Martin? How much is the flagship Taylor these days? And will it be like this? Now, I don't know. I haven't played this. And as you know, I'm a bit of a brand snob. But based on the reviews I've done of the other Yamaha guitars that cost under $1,000 and under $500, I have to assume this would blow me away. If it continues along those lines, it could potentially be the best guitar that I've played. Not a huge fan of the pickguard design on the Yamahas, the way it goes here. I'm glad it's smooth. I don't like the wood style pickguards that are on some of the Yamaha models because the pick rubs against and makes a noise against it. I like the inlay here on the fretboard, and I like that the fretboard is not streaky. That is my preference. I think the headstock looks really classy. Headstock has got the outline a bit like a John Mayer guitar. So yeah, I would love to try this, and I would assume it would blow me away. And like I said, it's not a cheap guitar, but it's the flagship Yamaha. So the flagship Martin is probably a D45 at $9,500, right? So with these Yamahas, you are looking at like half the money of the competitors, and you tend to get just as good kind of quality and sound. So that's pretty exciting. Not something that I'm shopping for, but if you're looking for a high-end guitar and you're a Yamaha fan, then you've got to try these. You just have to try them. And something like this could be a good host for something like the Baggs Hi-Fi, right? Because you spend this kind of money on a guitar that's this nice looking, you probably don't want to drill too many holes into it. And you probably don't want stuff under the saddle. The thing about putting stuff under the saddle is not only this thought of, is it impacting the sound? It's also, if you get the guitar and you love how it plays, you've then got to fiddle with the action. You might change it slightly and not like it so much. So that's what I like about it. I actually weighed the Anthem SL and the Hi-Fi, and they weigh exactly the same. So it's not like the Hi-Fi weighs less than the Anthem. It has longer battery life, but the Anthem already has really long battery life, as long as you're probably going to need. So the things are small here. Yes, you don't mess with the saddle. If you have a glued-in saddle, you can have the Hi-Fi. You don't have to mess around with your action or worry about it affecting the sound. Now, another thing I thought about doing, with the thing tomorrow, when we're done here, I'm going to restring the HDC Martin. I'm going to do this test one more time because I may as well do it, right? I'm going to restring the HDC Martin. I'm going to record the pickup, the Anthem, on 100% microphone with an external microphone as well on 2 tracks. I'm then tomorrow going to have the Hi-Fi installed in the guitar with a bone saddle made for the slot and no element pickup. Then when I bring the guitar back, I'm going to record the Hi-Fi and direct and the guitar acoustically. And I'm going to try to see if I really believe there's an improvement in acoustic tone with the Hi-Fi, because I think that's still in my mind. And I've done these experiments before. I've said there isn't. I think it might be guitar dependent. I'm still not sure. I might as well do it because I'm doing it anyway. I'll do it one more time. Do I notice a noticeable difference in the sound? The test won't be completely scientific because I might move the microphone in between the times, but you'll be able to hear the guitar in the room, and I'll try to have the mic in basically the same spot. So you'll be able to hear it in the room and see if you think it sounds different. And then I'll have to go by memory as well. I'll have to, just try them. I mean, it's so hard to do this scientifically, but I'm going to try to compare them. And I'm going to also upload the same pickup in the same guitar, the 2 different pickups in the same guitar, so you can hear how they sound. And then I'm going to use it on Friday, and I'm going to put in the review if I got any feedback on Friday. So all that information there should be very useful. And in the worst case scenario, you might decide, or maybe the best case scenario for you might decide you want an Anthem SL instead because of the results I find. Or you might decide you want a Hi-Fi based on the results that I find. Or based on the results that I find, you might be completely undecided because I give you mixed information. So I'm going to try. And then another pedal, but a great pedal, the Peterson tuner. I love Peterson tuners. They made a mini version. I want it on my electric board because it'll take up less space. I think I'm going to get one and put it on my electric board in the hope that I might then have space for one more pedal, although that's unlikely. But it'll be lighter if nothing else, right? So this really was the NAMM show of pedals. And I think that's because they're easier to sell, they're easier to manufacture, they're easier to ship, and people love pedals, right? I think that's what it is. So let me know if I missed anything. There was other stuff. I'll throw something in for free. I was watching Seymour Duncan. They have this Bluetooth switch for your electric guitar, which at the moment I'm not really interested in. I like to keep my guitars, analog. I'm pretty simple with electric guitars. In this video I watched, the guy presenting said he was showing a new power stage. Now, these power stages are really important because a lot of people with the guitar modelers, like the Quad Cortex and the Helix and the Kemper, like to go through a real cabinet, a real guitar cabinet. So he was saying there's a new power stage, but he didn't show it anywhere. And I asked him on the Facebook group, and someone who works with Seymour Duncan said there is one coming this year. There's no information yet. So there is some kind of new power stage coming from Seymour Duncan. So you see what I mean? We had a lot of new releases at this show, and there's more coming as well. The companies are not so worried anymore about having everything at the show. Some companies announce and release stuff earlier, before the show. Some are announcing stuff after the show. So there's a new power stage coming at some point, which is exciting because a lot of people rely on those things. And also, something else along those lines, 6 months ago, someone mentioned a Ritter power amp. So they make these for Kempers that install into your Kemper to use a real guitar cabinet. They've made one where the quad cortex sits on top of it. So it's a bit weird because it makes the quad cortex higher when you're using on the floor. But there was nothing about that, and there was nothing. They weren't at the show or anything. But I emailed them and they said it's going to be shipping right soon, like right now. It's not on the website yet. So there we go. There are some cool products that I'm interested in that were not even at the show that are coming in the next weeks or months. And then also, of course, the John Mayer guitars as well. So I think all in all, for gear fans and the industry, this certainly was no slouch. It's just that not everyone went because some people are still not decided if it's relative to them anymore. Some people couldn't afford to go or have different reasons. And then I don't think gear is suffering. I think a lot of gear, by the end of this year, you'll see loads of new releases. They might be safe releases. They might not be the most groundbreaking releases, but you'll see a lot of releases. Don't forget there's a new tone dexter coming as well. So I don't think gear is suffering. I think it's just people are still undecided about, do we go, do we not go, how do we move forward? And it'll be interesting to see what happens in January when we should have the January NAMM show. So let me know if you've got any final questions. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if, and I'm sure I did miss some things, and I apologize to any companies that I didn't cover today, because I just haven't got time to go through everything, and I literally just made this list. I just flew through the Sweetwater and just grabbed the new things and used my memory to make this list, so it's not exhaustive at all. And all the Martin stuff was covered in previous episodes. I didn't bother going through all the Martin releases again. And I'm sure there's some stuff I'll think of when I finish here that I wish I had covered today. But yeah, I think overall, it was a much better show than I thought it would be. And I'm pretty happy. And I am sad that I didn't go because I wish I could have hung out with the companies and chatted with them about stuff that's coming. And there is other stuff coming this year that I've kind of heard about that, I won't say because it's not 100% yet, but I think there will be some really cool stuff both for acoustic and electric players this year. Stady says that Yamaha is probably killer. I'm sure. I mean, the $350 Yamaha blew me away, so you can only imagine what the $4,000 one will do. I know there's a loss of returns as you spend more money on gear, but come on, that thing's going to be great. I'm just make a guess about it. We're talking about strings here. Perhaps we should do more info on strings on the channel, more string videos. Give some thumbs up. Thank you, Pooh. Same price as the Martin OMJ. Exactly. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. So some people, when they saw that Yamaha, said, whoa, $4,000. Well, that's what the OMJM is going to be. And no one said anything about the price of that. Wonder what one of those costs used. Do you take a huge hit? What are you talking about, Staley? Which model? Wait, I'm confused. Yes. Do you find a strobe tuner practical for fast tuning on stage? Yes. They are the best. You have to get one if you don't have one. I can really say that with my hand on my heart. The strobe tuner, I just think everyone should have a strobe tuner. And some products that don't have them, it's okay. I can get by without them, but if I had my way, I would have a strobe tuner, a real strobe tuner like the Peterson at every single gig on this always on mode. I have one here. In my next video I'm going to post soon, you'll see it in the background. It's so fast. Like you play a note and it shows you the note. There's no wobbling around or guessing. It's just there. There's a few of them that I like. The Turbo Tuner by ST. I like the Petersons. The Peterson have a nice range. They have the clip-on. They have the desktop. They have the floor. They have the mini. they now have the whole package. I wish they would have and develop the app a bit more. I've actually got another app I've been using for strobe tuning, which I might mention in a video soon. I wish Peterson would put some more time into their software apps, because that would be great too. But for the hardware tuners, that's what I use, and they're kind of, when you get one, it's kind of game changing. You get one, you use it, and the first thought is, I don't get this, it's different to my other tuners. And then a few minutes later, once you figured out how to read the screen and get used to it, you can't go back. At least that's my experience. And the mini is going to be cheaper as well. The mini version, obviously the screen will be smaller, which might not be ideal for some, but it will fit on your pedal board nicely and take less space, and it costs less money. There's a deal here as well where you can get the mini tuner and the clip-on tuner for a deal, package deal. So I would get something like this. This would sort you out for everything. You put the pedal on your pedal board, and you have the clip-on tuner for when you've got your acoustic guitar. So, yeah, I really suggest people check out those if they haven't already. Yeah, they're just so fast. And if you're a beginner, if you're learning the guitar and you're learning the fretboard, you can just play a note. It tells you what the note is. I'll tell you a story. I was playing a wedding 2 years ago, and I had it on my board, and there was a violinist, and she kept looking at my board, and I said, "Why are you looking at the board?" And she said, I'm following the song because I don't know the songs. I'm just here to play and sort of jam with this band. I'm seeing what chord you're playing from the tuner. So it doesn't tell you the chord, but obviously if I played a D chord, it would say D because there's a lot of Ds in the chord. So she was actually using that to follow the songs. That's how accurate it was. So that was really cool. That shows you how accurate it is and how fast it is. Oh, let me just have some water. Any more thoughts on the CEO 10? Are you tempted? No, I got to say, again, it was nice that Martin had all these releases at NAMM, because it's always great to see companies working on products. But I was thinking today, there's no products here that I'm personally that interested in, because we've got the more affordable range with the satin finishes, and as I said before on the show, if you're going to buy a satin finish Martin, I think you should consider used. The CEO 10 does look very nice. I don't think it's quite my cup of tea. And it's quite similar to the Authentic I have, which is, by the way, is a great guitar, but I'm not decided yet if I'm going to keep it or not. But those Authentics have something about them. The Authentic Martins have this thickness to the sound that you do not get from a standard series. I really like the sound. It's funny. I really like the sound of a standard series Martin. It's just a great all-round, modern-sounding, classic-sounding, easy to play, reliable, straight-up guitar. I feel the same way about the Fender American Pro Series as well. Just a great all-round instrument. But those Authentics have something about them that it does separate them. I can't really say that they're better, but they have, if you like the vintage sound and a thick sound and a forward sound and a powerful sound, they definitely have that. And I'm guessing from the specs, this CEO 10 will have that as well. So, I think that's probably my favorite guitar of the bunch. But I don't think that's what I'm looking at. I don't think, there's nothing here. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? There's nothing here that I'm particularly interested in myself. I don't play bass very much. And yeah. There's nothing here for me. What I'm interested in is the John Mayer guitars, and I'm just waiting to hear more about them. But who is going to buy them? I think it's lately everyone just says to me, I'm going to buy these guitars for an investment. I just think that's not a good idea. Then again, maybe it is. Maybe it is a good idea. But for the OM45 at $18,500, how long are you going to have to wait for that to go up in value? Realistically. Is that a good investment? And are you going to dare to play the thing in case you scratch it? I told you I put a ding in my Cole Clark last week and it broke my heart. And that is my gigging guitar. So if I put a ding in an OM45, I think I'd be pretty upset. So with these, I'm interested to see what the feedback is. No one's really played these yet. The customers haven't got these yet. I'm interested to see what customers think of the relicking and the satin finish. I'm just too traditional with Martins. I like the ebony fret. I don't like the streaky ebony. I like the gloss finish. I would be more interested in a used 2018 guitar, and I see them all the time. I'm always on the different websites, Guitar Center, Used, Reverb. Sometimes you just see a 2016 or 2018 reimagined Martin in great condition. The wood's had time to age a bit, and someone's selling it for a song. And for me, that's the way to go. Unless you want a relic-looking guitar, then you buy the Street Legend. And I tell you what, if you're a fan of Kurt Cobain, that's cool because that is the Kurt Cobain guitar. So then there you go. That's like a really affordable tribute model, isn't it? Artist model. So that's cool. But there's something about the Martins from the 2020 around 2016, 2015, 2018 that I just think is I think that was a bit of a golden era. And I think that because we had guitars like the Retro, we had those new pickups in there, really exciting technology, and that all seems to have gone to the wayside now, which does make me a little bit sad. So, T is tempted. Well, it looks nice. I think the decal on the pick guard, I think that's based on a vintage Martin. But and I keep talking about these John Mayer guitars, but I haven't seen them. Are we crazy? Everyone has been pre-ordering the John Mayer model. No one's seen it yet. We've had one low-quality picture, and yet there's been all these pre-orders, apparently, I'm told. Yeah, Yamahas have very good resale value. They do. That's a brand new model, yeah. Oh, no, so that's a brand new model. It's being made in limited numbers, Staley. Best home bass amp? I have no idea. I don't really play bass. I have a really nice bass that I'm thinking about selling. Let us know if anyone in the chat knows what a good bass amp is. The thing about bass is you can always use a PA speaker. I always tell people now, people say to me, what should I get for an acoustic amp? What should I get for a bass amp? Consider a PA speaker. You know, PA speakers have really come into their own for this stuff now. So if you're looking for an acoustic amp, I'm not saying don't get one, but also consider if you need something with more power and you also sing and put other things through it, consider a PA speaker. And same with the bass. You can put a bass through like a QSC K10 or K12, and then you can also use it as a PA speaker. At the end of the day, it's just a solid state amplifier, right? And at the end of the day, guitar amps are tube. We like them because they have tubes in them, but bass amps don't have tubes in them. They're solid state, so it's similar to a PA speaker. Some people disagree with me, but there we go. When I had a band, I had a duo in London, and the bass player used to use this really cool little amp. I think it was a Galleon Kruger. It was really small and really light, but really powerful. So that's nice too if you got to travel. T says, I still haven't got a Martin. Been tempted by a few, but haven't pulled the trigger. Waiting on the right one. The CO10 could be. Well, there you go. There you go. Captain B says, I've added a Smolder distortion pedal to my rig. Great pedal. I still have mine. I like it. I haven't been using it, but I do like it. Because, yeah, so do I ever use overdrive? I don't. For me, I like it. And like I always say, please understand that the gigs I'm doing right now, the way I'm traveling right now, I literally cannot fit anything else in my rig because I'm taking public transport. So, and honestly, my rig now is already too heavy. I had to carry it to some shows last week, and it just sucked. Like carrying, my bag weighs 22 pounds, my amp weighs 15 pounds, the mic stand on my back, the guitar on my back. It's amazing that I can do a show using public transport and taking that kind of quality of gear, but I really can't afford to take it. I wish I could. I wish I could make a pedal board with individual pedals and customize it to what I do, but that is just by default going to make the rig heavier and bigger. So I'm using the Voice Live 3 Extreme. That does have distortion built in, but the effects are the weakest thing about that pedal for me, so I don't even bother trying to use them. The electric sort of effects. I use the delays and reverbs only. So the Smolder is excellent. I did a review of that. I still have it. And that is probably what I would use if I used it. But I'm really interested in this Cole Clark True Hybrid because it's more of a solid body, not a solid body guitar, but it has no sound hole. It has the sound hole at the top of the guitar. and it has the electric magnetic pickups. I think I like the idea of running those through electric pedals more than acoustic through electric pedals. So we'll see how what happens with those. But yeah, everyone always asks me, what should I get for distortion in my acoustic? And I always say, get the Smolder. T says the $18,000 Maya will probably go up in price 2 days later with reverb. No, but here's the thing, it won't. It's not limited. It's not limited. The John Mayer OM45 and the OMJM are limited to this year. So in theory, all the John Mayer fans can buy one. In theory, there could be thousands of those on the market. So is it going to go up in value? Where the OM28 John Mayer, they only made 404 or so. So that's limited, right? 400 is nothing. And Mayer had some of those. So 400 is nothing. There could be 4,000 of these other ones. And they're already starting at those higher prices to what the OM28 John Mayer was. And they don't look like the OM28 John Mayer. They look new. They've got this new color to them. So I don't know. I would not advise anyone to buy these guitars as an investment. I might be completely wrong, and in 20 years you might come on here and say, Aaron, why did you tell me that advice? Because then they're selling for $100,000. I don't know what's going to happen with the market. I just feel like they're so high to begin with that you've then got, you haven't got the markup. If you bought the Mayer at what were they, 3,000 when they came out, the OM28 John Mayer? If you bought that back in the day, I know that was worth more money back then, inflation, but that was the price of basically a bit higher than a standard series Martin, right? But these new guitars are much higher. Now, again, to be fair, it's an OM45, so they are expensive anyway. But man, I just wish they'd done a 28 version or a 42 version, because the 45 you're paying for all that the decoration and everything, which is fine. I've got no problem with decoration, but it adds all that money to the cost. And Staley says, for that money, I'd buy the Dick Boak signature or get a Gallagher. Yeah, and that's the thing as well. You've got to think to yourself, for that kind of money, are you better off looking at a Collings or a Santa Cruz or even a Froggy Bottom? Something like that. Maybe you are. I don't. Who am I to say that? But I really don't want to say anything about the Mayer guitars because we haven't seen them. We don't really know the full spec. We haven't seen what they actually look like in person. That's the frustrating. We need to see them. I can't believe people are putting in pre-orders and they haven't seen them. I guess we live in a world now where you can just cancel your pre-order and move on, right? But it's funny. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to pre-order one. I spoke to someone and they said, I don't want to put a pre-order in. I want to see it first. I thought the 18 grand was limited and the other was being made for the year. It wouldn't be touched as an investment piece. Yeah, I agree. No, I believe neither of them are limited. They're both limited to orders in this year. And for 18.5 grand, you can probably get an OM28 John Mayer guitar, except you never see them for sale anywhere, so maybe you can't. And like Staley said, for that kind of money, are you better off getting a more boutique guitar with that money? Who knows? Maybe we'll have more information next week. So if you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. That was my NAMM recap. I would give the NAMM show a 2 thumbs up. I think they did a great job considering the way things are right now. I think despite me being disappointed that there's not more groundbreaking products, companies are clearly still innovating and growing their lines. I'm sure there's more to come. Chris Kemper was at the show. He was walking around. That's the other thing. Just because a company doesn't go have a booth at NAMM doesn't mean they're not there walking around and talking to people. It really is a meeting place for many people. And I'm sure many deals do get done there. And I'm also sure a lot of people go there to drink and party as well, but I'm sure a lot of deals do get done. So I think it did well. I think we should support what they're doing, because at the end of the day, it's a place for the industry to meet and network and socialize, and that can only be a good thing. I think what we need to do is wait to see what happens with NAMM in January, to see if the big players go back, and if more people go, and if they start to change the way it works as well. I think that'll be the key. So if you're new here, subscribe and ring the bell. I'm going to have some videos. My regular gig has closed down to renovate for 2 weeks, so I'm going to have some time in the next couple of weeks. So I'm trying to catch up on some videos that I've had to do for a long time. Some stuff that I want to sell, but I want to make a video about it first of all. So you probably see that hopefully soon. I've got loads of B-roll on my computer of some things I want to post. I need to edit it all. So I'll be doing that next couple of weeks. And I will try to do what I said, some more hi-fi recordings. I know a lot of people have ordered the hi-fi. They should be shipping in the next week or two. But I'm sure some people will find it beneficial to see what it sounds like in the guitar versus the Anthem. And I'm kind of interested as well. But like I said, remember, if you're happy with what you have, maybe leave it alone. I think that's my advice. Why look for something new like a pickup if you're already happy with what you already have? Just bear that in mind. Stady said Froggy Bottom. Heck yeah. Hey, yeah, I've played one at Rudy's, and it was an amazing instrument, about $10,000. So there you go. You can get 2 of those for the price of that. All right. So yeah, I'm going to go and restring the HDC 28 and record it so I can take it tomorrow and have the pickup switched over. Oh, by the way, I'm having that done because, you know, I have a really good guitar tech here that's a friend of mine as well. But yes, it is easy to install yourself, I am told. And I guess I'll find out more about that once that's done as well. I can share more about that next week. Thank you, T. Thanks for watching. And yeah, stay tuned. Subscribe, ring the bell. It'll tell you when I post a video. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. So take care and be well. Bye-bye.
I'm not lost, but I'm not found. I'm not up, but I'm not down.